China is very worried. China thinks democracies are trying to contain China. China also believes that US wants to move supply chains out of China. And why not? Seeing the disruptions that happened post-COVID and the way China virtually held the world to ransom, democracies actually want resilient supply chains, and they realize India is a much better option. There are several top CEOs meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But will those manufacturing bases either shift to India, or will new manufacturing bases be set up in India? Also, defense manufacturing. Will we see much more of that in the months and years ahead? We bring you this report on top CEOs meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
It is India's soft power at its loudest. Preparations are underway at the North Lawns of the United Nations headquarters in New York City for Prime Minister Modi's Asana diplomacy on International Yoga Day on 21st of June. The historic event is to be attended by hundreds, including UN Secretary General Tosaba Korosi, and diplomats, ambassadors and representatives from nearly 180 countries. This demonstration of Indian soft power is just a precursor to 2 days of hard, bare-knuckles negotiations expected in Washington, D.C. The Prime Minister has a full itinerary. He will jump into action as soon as he reaches New York early morning on Wednesday. On the 21st, the Prime Minister will lead Yoga Day celebrations at New York, which will be followed by several engagements and departure for Washington, D.C. Next day, he will be felicitated at a ceremonial welcome at the White House, followed by bilateral talks with President Joe Biden. The evening will have the Bidens host a state dinner for the Indian Prime Minister. Modi will then get the singular honor of addressing a joint session of the US Congress a second time.
प्रधानमंत्री जो है अमेरिका के संसद पे भाषण देंगे। ये जॉइंट एड्रेस होता है कांग्रेस को। आज तक कोई भी भारत का प्रधानमंत्री इसको 2 बार उन्होंने संसद को संबोधित नहीं किया। ये पहली बार होगा और दुनिया में भी बहुत कम लोग हैं, जैसे विंस्टन चर्चिल हैं, नेल्सन मंडेला हैं। ऐसे ही माने गिने चुने लोग हैं जिन्होंने यूएस कांग्रेस को 2 बार संबोधित किया।
The show of solidarity between the two governments will continue, with the Prime Minister hosting a luncheon event on Friday jointly with US Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken. What follows is some high-powered meetings with around 20 US CEOs who already do business in India or are keen to get a foothold in the Indian markets. The CEOs include Shantanu Narayan of Adobe Systems, Julie Sweet of Accenture, Ryan McHenry of Visa, as well as Michael Maybach of MasterCard, both reportedly keen on boarding the Indian digital payments superwagon, and James Quincy, the CEO of Coca-Cola.
हम जो है अपने हित से देखते हैं और रिश्तों की परिप्रेक्ष्य से देखते हैं, तो मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि इस विजिट से आप आउटकम देखेंगे। बहुत माने जबरदस्त आउटकम निकलेंगे, पर क्या निकलेंगे मैं अभी आपको बता नहीं सकता।
Some of the big outcomes which are already expected are an investment up to $2 billion by Micron Technologies, a crucial deal to buy 31 Predator drones, and a deal to allow General Electric to manufacture jet engines for Indian military aircraft within India. These engines will be used by the second iteration of the light combat aircraft and the under development advanced medium combat aircraft.
Well, both the Indian and the US governments are burning the midnight oil to make sure that PM Modi's visit to the US is fruitful and the objectives are met. In fact, to say the word is Zabardast in a way that the External Affairs Minister has also set. And the optics are well set because it's going to be a ceremonial welcome at the White House, followed by a state dinner and, of course, an address jointly by the US Congress. Reporting for Business Today Television in New Delhi, this is Karishma Sudani.